Thanks, Lynn, and thanks to the Young Democrats of DePaul and all the other organizations that put together this wonderful forum. Look at the turnout here. It's fantastic. I'm Tom Geoghegan, and I'm running for Congress because throughout my entire professional life as a lawyer, I've been fighting for higher wages, better pensions, better health care for working people in this district. And now, thanks to the meltdown, never in my life have these benefits been in greater jeopardy. The outrageous bank bailout has also made the situation much worse. We're in a very dangerous time. And in the next few years, we're facing not just a crack-up of Wall Street, but of our middle-class way of life. For 30 years, I've had some real success in winning back bits and pieces of pension and health benefits in plant closings and layoffs. But I want to do more. And I'm running as an independent Democrat to do what the career politicians have failed to do in this country for 30 years, and that's to bring economic security for working people. I think we can turn things around in this dangerous time, and I have some specific proposals as to how to do it. First, we have to increase Social Security. I don't mean save it the way the Democrats say. I mean increase it, raise it, make it a real pension that people can live on. Second, we have to have single-payer national health, a system where the government, where we cut out the huge overhead that we are paying right now in our medical premiums to insurance companies and their CEOs. Third, we have to stop throwing money at insolvent banks. If they're insolvent, let's take them over. Congress gave $700 billion in our taxes, and the banks still want more. Haven't we had enough of this? The real answer to this crisis is not just to make the banks extend credit to working people. We have to make people credit-worthy. As the banks get bailed out from us, they are charging us even higher interest rates, cutting back our credit, and dragging more people into collection courts. The banks we bail out should be writing off these debts just as their own debts are being written off by us, the taxpayers. I support gay marriage. As a labor lawyer, I'd like to see the Civil Rights Act changed to protect gays and lesbians in the workplace. As to the Oslo Accords, I think the U.S. has a role as a guarantor of Israeli security, but as a mediator, and I do a lot of mediation, the U.S. is there not to impose accords, but to help people reach their own decisions. I've lived out my professional life with one commitment: to help working Americans get the economic security they need. Neoliberal economists got us in this mess. Career politicians will not get us out. Thank you.
Carlos?
Thank you, Lynn, and thank you for the DePaul Democrats and the independent voters of Illinois. Thank you for everyone to inviting us here, the independent voters of Illinois. This is a bit of a homecoming for me as well. My wife grew up in the seminary complex just down the block for 43 years.
And just in case for our radio listeners, people didn't hear this is Carlos I might mispronounce your name.
Carlos Monteagudo.
Okay, thank you.
And for the last 15 years, my family has owned a home right here in Lincoln Park, so it is a homecoming. A little bit about myself. I'm a Cuban immigrant. I grew up not in this neighborhood, but in what's now called Wrigleyville. It wasn't that at the time. Growing up in poverty, I ended up committing myself to public work, public sector work, and became a doctor. Ended up becoming a psychiatrist, training at Harvard, and committed myself to communities in need. I've worked all my life for the last 23 years in public sector hospitals. 10 years ago, I co-founded a nonprofit, SEED, that works with community agencies to help them become much more effective, coming together across difference to make change happen. So I've been a dedicated, committed person to communities. That's why I'm running. I think we need people other than career politicians making the decisions that are going to be necessary in this next session of Congress. On the complex issues that we're asked to talk about, two things that are relevant in terms of my background. as a psychiatrist, I've been trained to listen and listen very hard. And I know that all these intractable problems are a result of fundamental needs not being met. As Abraham Maslow taught us, the most fundamental need of all is security, is having the sense that you have some real integrity and security about your life and what you care about. So on the issues that we've been asked to speak to, the single payer, to me, on healthcare, healthcare security is the number one issue. There are different ways of skinning that cat. I think single payer is probably the best way. It assures affordability and quality, but there are other ways of doing it that are reasonable. On gay marriage, of course, this is the next civil right. This is the civil rights issues of our day. We need to support that. There are people that this is a cultural thing, like the African Americans had struggled for many years to get everything that was their right. It'll take years for this to also come to fruition. So we need to listen to the needs of people who struggle with this issue. But fundamentally, this is the civil rights that we all need to support. On the Oslo Accords, essentially, security is important, is the number one issue that we need to be paying attention to for all parties. There has to be dignity and commitments to supporting both sides. There are real issues that all sides are facing, and we need to support the process as an international community. Thank you.
Paul?
Thank you. My name is Paul Bryar, and I'm running for Congress for a few simple reasons. The first is to create jobs here in America, and the second is to lead by example, to end the corrupt political system as personified by Rod Blagojevich and Todd Stroger. I'm one of 7 children. I'm a husband. I have 2 children at home. I'm a father, and I'm a doctor. I'm not a politician, and I'm not going to pretend to be one. And I don't have a loud voice, but my message is very powerful. With that in mind, I made a few pledges. The first is to support a Made in America tax cut for those businesses which create jobs here in America, and to end those tax breaks for companies which send our jobs overseas. The second pledge that I've made is, as a congressman, I will freeze my congressional pay during tough times like these, because I don't believe that we should be taking pay raises when people right here are losing their homes and losing their jobs. I am for the Obama plan for universal access to health care. I am for gay marriage, and I believe that we should re-implement the principles outlined in the Oslo Accords. Since this is my first campaign, many of you wonder who I am. Well, I was born and raised here in Chicago. I went to St. Ignatius High School and then attended Georgetown University, where I graduated with a degree in government. After teaching high school for a year, I went to medical school here in Chicago, and for the last 10 years, I've been in practice at Northwestern Memorial Hospital. Since my first week in practice, I've devoted one day each week to providing care in a community health center in Chicago's Cabrini Green neighborhood for those patients who would otherwise have no access and have no insurance. Like each of you in this room, I am tired of opening the newspaper every day and reading about corruption in Illinois. I truly believe that if we have a low standard for our elected officials, that's what we'll get. I truly believe if we keep electing the same people to higher office, we will get the same results. So I invite you to join me on March 3rd in raising your standard of government, in creating more jobs, better health care, and embracing a better form of government. Thank you very much.